Hi guys and welcome to a new video from your favorite blobface. So we're here to talk about EDP once again. This story just gets bigger and bigger by the day. As I guess all of you know by now, EDP was confronted by a group called predator poachers after trying to meet up with a 13-year-old kid. The messages EDP sent to this kid before trying to meet up were absolutely the grossest thing I have ever seen in my own life. And even that statement doesn't justify how gross these messages actually were. But most of you watching know this already and probably also saw the confrontation between EDP and a group of predator poachers, either the full video or a summary like the one I posted on my last video. Well, as of today, this news story expanded outside of YouTube. This video is getting so much attention from the entire YouTube community that it burst out of the YouTube cycle to even news outlets. Yes, you heard that correctly, EDP445 was on the news because of this. More specifically, he was on ABC. In this news story, the police also commented on the situation, so let's roll the clip.
You're here to meet a 13-year-old.
Man, solicited photos. There's somebody who.
Are you really doing this?
Yes. Okay, it's.
Already off to a great start, EDP445's face is completely censored in this clip, as not everybody already knows who he is. And if you don't know who he is, the truth is just one Google search away anyway. But I guess EBC is doing this to prevent themselves from any lawsuit or something.
Alright, that clip you just watched is from a YouTube video posted by CC Unit. The whole video lasts nearly 55 minutes, in which two YouTubers set up an attempt to catch a person they say tried to meet up with a 13-year-old in Bakersfield.
Wait, what do you mean by they say? EDP said himself that he was there to meet up with a 13-year-old. Sure, EDP was trying to hide behind the fact that he only wanted some homemade cupcakes, but that doesn't change the fact that he admitted to it.
Law enforcement telling 23ABC the video's content is under investigation, but as of now, no arrests have been made. Because of that, we've chosen not to identify the man in the video, of course.
So law enforcement is investigating EDP445 finally. And with the amount of evidence that was provided by these predator poachers, I don't think that another conclusion can come from this than EDP landing himself in a jail cell. The question really isn't if EDP will go to jail, but on how many counts he can be taken to jail, which will determine for how long he will rot in there.
23ABC's Veronica Morley is taking us behind the scenes of that Vigilante operation. And if local authorities think actions like this help or hurt law enforcement.
Well, this action by this group really provided all the proof there was about EDP being a PP, so I think in this case it really helped law enforcement. However, I do agree that these operations don't always have this good ending, sometimes arising in violence between the predator and the other group. I personally don't think citizens should do their own investigation. However, it's hard to say that, as I'm clearly very happy that EDP was finally outed, so I don't know my complete stance on these kinds of operations if I'm honest.
You initiated a conversation with a 13-year-old knowing she was 13, yes or no? Went on that same 13-year-old account and messaged him as a fan saying, hey, I love your YouTube. He's like, oh, thanks. And we just liked his comment. That's it. And then 2 days later, he messages us, like initiating conversation, knowing she was 13.
It sounds like an undercover operation, but it's not cops behind these fake profiles. They're the creators of the YouTube channel CC Unit, which stands for Creep Catching. The group posts dozens of videos just like this one, where they posed as a 13-year-old online and met up with a person they were talking with, which they say took place here in Bakersfield.
So EDP actually started the conversation after 2 days of silence with the 13-year-old. Well, I didn't know that part. That makes him even worse of a creep in my opinion than he was before. He just went after a random 13-year-old then, who sent him that she liked his videos. I thought it was at least insinuated by the 30-year-old account that she wanted something more, but that isn't even the case by the looks of it. Looking for it like that makes everything way scarier. All of his underage fans could have been at risk.
What we do is we tell every predator we live where they're from.
Because like I have arrests in Los Angeles. I have arrests in like Temecula, Riverside area, and then I have arrests in Virginia. Adrenaline, because you know, like you're dealing with a criminal, obviously.
You know, there's definitely some gray areas that are involved in this as far as legal and the potential use of some of this as evidence in criminal proceedings.
Bakersfield police say while vigilante operations like this are not illegal, it's a dangerous position to put yourself in and could impede law enforcement down the road.
Like I said, I think it's a very hard moral standpoint. On the one hand, we want all the creeps off the streets. But if every citizen would start their own police investigation, complete anarchy would occur.
What we see is we get reportings after these events have occurred, and it's never from the people that are directly involved. And so that creates problems with the obtaining of all of the information.
Well, obtaining of all the information isn't really that hard now, right? You literally have all the screenshots of the conversations. You have EDP admitting himself on camera to what he did, as well as him begging for the people not to call the cops on him. He knows what he did would let him in a one-way ticket to jail. So in this case, it definitely wasn't obstructing the police, I think.
They say impede on their investigations. There is no me and Ghost respectively have caught combined over 300 predators.
Every time like law enforcement says, oh, you're like not really helping the situation, I feel like it's like a part of their protocol.
But BPD says there are several different factors that make operations like this more suited for trained investigators.
Bring certain skills as well as investigative strategies to the table, where we can ensure that, one, if there's a victim, that they're protected, so that we can then hold people accountable for their actions in a court of law versus a court of public opinion.
That's one thing I can completely agree on. Court of law should always be used in these situations, not some random action from public opinion. Like if people saw the EDP445 situation, people could see it justified for him to get beat up. And I'm not against it at all. However, if everyone would take actions on themselves, complete chaos would occur in the streets. Different people have different opinions, so maybe someone finds it okay to beat up someone that just stole a lollipop. That's why the law is here, so we have justice on equal levels for everyone. It is important that people don't take action themselves. That's all the information really there is on this story at the moment, but it's good to hear that the police is finally investigating EDP themselves. Tomorrow I hope to post a bit of more lightly of videos if no updates occur in this situation. We need a good laugh again after almost only talking about a predator for the past few days. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. Blobfish out.